Yeah, welcome to LOOTRS OT.
On this show, we will explore the ins and outs of our lives as hip-hop artists, business partners, and I suppose brothers.
Okay. Done with regulation time. Now get ready for what's next. LOOTRS OT. Yeah, LOOTRS OT. I said LOOTRS OT. Yeah, LOOTRS OT. LOOTRS OT. I said LOOTRS OT. I said LOOTRS OT. LOOTRS OT.
LOOTRS OT, baby.
Been a minute.
LOOTRS OT o'clock.
Tea time.
Welcome, Kerr. Welcome.
Afternoon tea. Afternoon LOOTRS OT.
Yeah, but it's all that good. You know what I'm saying? So,
I know what you're saying. Yes, things.
can you see my face?
I sort of prefer it.
Put this up a little bit.
Yeah, that's better.
All right, G. My G. All right. Yeah. What'd you say? How am I doing? Bit sore.
From what?
Just did a lot of skipping today.
Well, let's get into it. Mental health check.
Mental health
I mean, you
check.
can start with the physical if you want.
Well, physically, I'm feeling all right. I'm feeling I feel okay. I feel good enough. You know, there's my shoulders heaps better. I've started
Been
to
doing anything to?
yeah. I've just
You been like maintaining it?
well, I've just been working my like upper back and just my back muscles and shoulder muscles to kind of like give more support to the shoulder. Especially the what is it here? The traps. Lats. Yeah.
Traps at the top, through the middle.
Yeah, just more doing the lats. Yeah, they're doing they're getting a workout, which I feel like is like kind of pulling my shoulder back and just giving that a bit more stability.
Yeah, they're like fucking half your back. Traps in your lats are like
Is everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
And your lats especially like it help pull your shoulder back and keep your shoulders up. And
Yeah, I feel like they're the moneymaker right there. I need a lot more strength in my lats. So that's where I'm kind of focusing when I skip like a whole.
And they connect like right down to the sort of bottom of your back, your lower back.
Yeah, right.
Not just there, like they go across all the way down into the middle, sort of down the bottom.
Yeah, okay. Do you exercise the bottom of them as well? Or like, because all the exercises I'm doing are at the top at the moment.
No, I mean like if you're doing like a pull, if you do anything, they're always going to be working, but it's usually if you do like a pull, if you do like a lat pull down or something like a bent over row or something, or a single arm row, it's when you're then coming up and squeezing.
Right.
Is like where it'll get down the
Where
bottom.
you really, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I've
Because you can like start up here, if you're doing like a lat pull down, say, you start up above you, as you start to pull down, you engage in like the top of it, and then as you get lower, you'll feel like that. You can feel it squeeze right down to the bottom.
Right. Okay.
And yeah, it's good to try and visualize or just mentally think about feeling it.
Yep.
If you can like
Visualize where you're meant to be putting the
yeah,
energy.
Yeah, if you put your awareness or your attention where the muscle is and focus on squeezing there, you can. It's just like everything we do, man. Like mind over matter. Like you can really activate the muscle so much more and get so much more out of it.
Yep.
And you
I
can
remember
do
that was
far less reps. And
that was something that Dave said about. We went for a sesh like around Christmas time when we were up there, and we went to that anytime at
near him.
No, it was at Wyong. You know when we were staying at that place.
I didn't go.
Who were you?
I was here.
Oh, you were stuck here, weren't you?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I totally forgot about that. Yeah. Anyway, we just went for a sesh at any time, and yeah, that's one thing he said to me is like, you know, focus on the particular muscle getting bigger. Like, what are you trying to make bigger? Like, imagine it getting bigger as you're like working it. So, which I thought was it was a good visualization thing and something that I try to remember when I feel like, you know, because during this, I mean, I don't know about you, but for us regular folk, you kind of, when I'm in a session, like my mind might wander and I'll just start going through the, you know, the motions, but then, you know, to kind of have a visualization tool like that to bring your awareness back into the muscle and focus on it is like really handy, and then can just really make all the difference in a, you know, to turn like a 5 out of 10 session into like a 7 or 8 out of 10. So
For sure, yeah.
yeah. So
I try to maybe in between
it's
things.
probably ingrained into what you do by
Yeah,
now, right?
yeah, for sure. Like I'm pretty locked in the whole time doing a rep and like start to finish, and I'm thinking about my hands. I'm thinking about the muscles squeezing.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about like pulling in symmetry and my whole posture, how things are aligned, and just trying to make sure I like work at the best of my ability.
Yep.
And it's just discipline. Like you just over time, you just focus, like it will come.
Yep.
And it's not the sort of discipline that's bad though. It only makes it better. It only makes you get more out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So
Yeah, physically I'm feeling okay. Like, yeah.
when you go back to the gym, when the gym opens, like focus on that more.
Yeah, I will.
Just take your time, slow reps down.
Yeah, I think that's the thing.
Time under tension.
I'm rushing. I probably rush a bit too much through stuff.
You can still go light. Like you don't have to go heavy, but just slow the reps down and focus on pulling and squeezing and pushing and just like all of those actions and just like doing them slowly.
Yeah.
How your muscles become like more dense as well. Like they become harder, they become stronger. If you can like give it more good healthy pressure, good healthy stress.
Yeah, yeah.
Compared to a set where you're just repping out like 30 or 10, whatever's a lot to you, real quick ones, and then you're off and you're done and your muscles are just sort of like, what the fuck was that about?
Yeah.
Like give us a break, like let us know what's like coming or something, you know? Don't just fuck us up like that. So yeah, think about it.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, so that's it for physical. I mean, obviously been a bit tough, no gyms. Haven't been able to go train, anything like that. So just doing whatever I can really. But it's been fine. Mental health check-in. Yeah, a bit dreary at times, but I think just cultivating that winning mindset by reminding myself, like I think what you said the other day. What?
Just smiling. You know how I be?
Yeah, I know how.
You know how it be?
No. Well, I guess rest at the end is something that's really just like that's just been like so impressed on the front of my head at the moment.
It's everything, eh?
So it's kind of like, you know, I'm finding myself wanting to get a little bit offside with myself or
just quickly to explain what you're talking about. There's a quote. It's actually Kobe, his like gym teacher in fucking like year 6 or some shit said it to him or something like that. Like when he was younger, a teacher said it to him and a teacher said, rest at the end, not in the middle.
And that just defined his whole career.
Yeah, pretty much. Because he said it, he's like, this, you know, something that stuck with me forever and blah, blah, blah. And like, it's just, you know, people go away from winning formulas too often.
Yeah, fucking on.
You have success in life and and things are rolling and you I don't know why, but either you want new, you think it was luck, you don't think it'll happen again. You think that it was influenced by this exterior thing, and you don't take into consideration it was actually your effort that produced the result. And people just move away from it. Whether it's like a song that you put out, like your ads, gym routine, diet, a job you're in, your bedtime, wake up time, like all of that. Like there's a win. There's a potential win in all of those things that sets up the next win. And you've done it at some point in your life, but for whatever reason, we go away from it because it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's usually when you have one of those moments in life where, you know, you lose a job or you're just sick or you don't have money and then just like as it slips down and then you sort of forget like, fuck, what was I doing again? Like, oh shit. Yeah. It takes a bit of getting back on course. But yeah, that's the principle, just to let people know.
Rest at the end, not in the middle. Yeah. And yes, ever since you said that I mean, it was only a week ago, but like I haven't been able to, it's just been like brandished on the top of my brain and it's something I'm just thinking so much about at the moment. And
because as people growing up with technology and the internet and just the way, you know, culture has evolved, it's usually it's too much choice. It's too much options, too much availability, too much access. And what happens with that is, you get that addiction of wanting to start something new all the time. And, and it's just that rush.
Amen.
But man, like that's why I think it's so important, why it's such a solid thing. I think it's solid for everyone, but I think especially like with the way young people are these days, execution and following through an idea and like, starting what you finishing what you start is just like.
Just not resting.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about this the other day because I was journaling and I was writing, I just wrote out a whole bunch of like sentences or ideas that a winner cultivates and that a winner kind of like stands by. And not resting, I just wrote the words not resting, obviously off the back of our conversations, but not resting. And then I was like, wait a minute, is that a potentially dangerous thing to say to people? Because then I start to think about like the Gary V, how
but it's not meant to be like that.
I know that, but I started thinking about it like people took his hustle hard, content. They turned that into something negative.
Yeah, definitely.
That they kind of spun into this like, oh, you got to look after your mental health and, working hard isn't the be all and end all.
Yeah.
And they turned this thing that was like him just trying to like G people up and inspire people. And they turned it into this like inherently negative thing, which it wasn't. They just kind of put that light on it. And I think about that with this, like, you could easily put that on this,
for sure.
Rest at the end, not at the middle. What? So I never rest? And that's not what it's saying. It's saying sleep is good. Mental health.
It's important.
Looking after your mental health is important, but resting is slowing down and not fulfilling your potential.
Yeah.
It's resting is scrolling through your phone for the 5 extra minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's watching 1 extra episode.
Yeah, and as a whole, the principle is referring to individual tasks, individual paths or goals that you're trying to achieve, not your life.
Why not? Why not?
You can if you want, for sure, but that's just too, like, you can't. That is where the cliches and the negativity has an opportunity to arise, because people need to realize it's a specific mindset you click on to get through things, not a whole mantra to live your whole life by.
Well, that's where I disagree.
No,
I mean,
you can use it.
You
can use it for sure. But what I'm saying is, if you don't want to risk it being taken out of context and people taken to the extremes, then you need to realize it's a thing. It's a tool.
It's a tool used to finish a task.
Yeah, exactly. To get through that thing that you're doing.
Yeah,
and just to recognize that it's.
I just think it's a lot more important than just that, though. And I think like depending on the person, obviously, but I think because the reason I think it's more important than just something you use to like get through a particular task is because I've been thinking about and reading about and hearing about, people talking about, on my deathbed and talking, Gary Vee always talks about, talking to older people and even Joe Rogan. I listened to this thing where he's talking about how he was with his grandma on her deathbed basically. And all those people kind of reflecting on their lives. And, I feel like that's when you get to rest.
Yeah.
And I think if you can, I'm not saying rest is, rest could even be sleeping in. It's totally, it totally depends on your awareness and how you place that energy and your relationship to it. That's all it has to do with. It doesn't necessarily mean one thing or the other. It all comes down to where you're at. And if you just define, you can define sleeping in is a good thing if the context or the day requires it. It's when you sleep in every day. It's when you watch every extra episode.
Yeah, and when you know that you have a task,
when you know that you have something
you
to
have
be done,
a career that you're working on or whatever.
Yeah,
and that's when it's like rest at the end of that.
Yeah.
Because
So anyway, it's been something I've been thinking about, and obviously, the couple of weeks of lockdown was not great. It wasn't great for anyone, and look, things are still a little challenging at the moment, but I'm like really trying to galvanize myself with that motto at the forefront of it. So I do feel good. I feel I do feel like I'm trying to, not trying to, I am filling myself up with gratitude and falling back on that as much as I can. And as a result, I feel like I'm less culpable to these different emotional swings that I kind of have been used to in the past. So yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at.
Good to hear.
All right. What about you? Talk to me. Physically
fucked.
Physically fucked.
Rolled my ankle real bad 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Hooping.
Playing basketball, yeah. Yeah, it was pretty intense. It was fucking 2-on-2. It was 6. It was 5-6. It was 1st to 7.
Yeah. What were you?
I think we were on 6, but we lost the game before. That's why we had another one. So we're up by 1 point.
Who was the guys?
Just random guys I met at the courts.
Right.
Up by 1 point, and then as soon as we said, I think we said next point wins or something like that. Or the fact it was like next point wins if we got the point. As soon as we got to 6, or maybe they might have even been on 6. I don't know. I can't remember, but I think we were on 6, and then everyone started getting hell serious. And then like we'd already played a game, and I'd already been there for like an hour and a half, like shooting around. So I was like, when we finished the first game, I definitely should have listened to my body, because I was like, yeah, good game. Like, see you fellas, and they're like, do you want to play another one? Everyone was like, yeah, and I'm like, no, I was the first one to respond. I was like, nah, I'm good. Thinking that they were all, they were stoked, because everyone was buggered, like we were all sweaty ass.
Yeah.
And then they were both like, no, we'll go again. I'm like, yeah, I was just making sure you wanted to. I wanted to as well. And then,
I know, bitch.
yeah, and then, but like, it's just, that's what I mean by I should have listened to myself. Like, it was like I shouldn't have played. But anyway, I'm happy. I'm like, it allowed me to do a lot more production throughout lockdown, because, you know, obviously wasn't leaving the house as much.
Yeah.
But yeah, physically, like I put on a bit of weight, just, you know, throughout lockdown, just eating pretty shit.
Did you get, I mean, I know you were doing a couple, you got through a couple of 200 push-ups in a day.
Yeah, I did it.
Keep doing that? Or?
Yeah, I've done it pretty much every day. I missed like one. I missed one, but then the next day I did one when yous came over or something. I did 100 in like just before yous came, and then the next day I did 300 to make up for it.
Yeah.
So, and I might have missed the day that we went over to watch UFC.
On via Zoom?
Yeah, via Zoom. Yeah, that one.
I
Yeah.
remember that.
Fuck the police. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but I've been surprised. Like my chest has definitely grown.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely paid off just doing. So yeah, because I can't obviously do anything. All I could do is sit ups, push ups.
Are we talking like what 2,600 push ups in lockdown? Do you reckon?
Yeah, a lot. However many 200 a day is.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'll definitely build up the stamina. I could definitely do more.
Yeah.
And they feel better. I feel like my shoulders have like sort of benefited from it, because like if you think about it, when you're like doing a proper push up, and you know you got your head up and everything, and you're essentially in the world's best posture,
right?
As you're doing a push up, because you're like this,
right,
holding yourself stiff, and your core activated, and so I think it's benefited my posture. But the problem is that that's been contrasted with sitting down for fucking like 10 hours a day.
So much of it,
so much sitting down, and like because I needed to rest it, I just haven't wanted to walk around, like lockdown just in general, but then having the ankle. So, yeah, I just cannot wait to run, to be honest, like just move my body and run and just fucking jump around and shit, and just play basketball. But yeah, so physically all right. And then mentally, yeah, good. A little bit like whenever I release a song, it's a little bit of a seesaw in emotions. There's just so much emotion that goes into getting it done. That's like, has to be sort of in the process. It has to be sort of controlled in the process to leading up, to make sure I'm just like focused on getting what I need to get done. And then it's sort of like, I find that once I release it, the emotions sort of come up, and then there's a bit of like, usually pretty negative, because it's just like, it's weird. It's because it's like, yeah, I'm so content with where I'm at, and it's so good to have another notch in the
out.
belt or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's all the positives that come with that and seeing people react, and there is people. But then on the flip side, it's another way. It's a reminder of how far there is still to go. Another one? Just like, not getting the metrics that you sort of hope for. But at the end of the day, like, it's just so stupid because, like, who am I to say, It just doesn't make any sense to feel down on myself. But yeah, I do, and I'm not going to hide from that. It is what it is.
I think it's human. It's just about and trying to avoid feeling that way is impossible. I think.
It motivates me.
It really just comes down to like how quickly you bounce back from that and how quickly you bring your awareness back into the present and onto what actually matters.
Yeah, definitely. And
that's the important part.
Yeah, 100%. It's always the important part, how you bounce back. And I'm just bouncing back by just content, really, just focusing more on like what I got to do. But yeah, no, mental health, that's what like always affects it slightly. It just sort of puts a bit of a dull, and it's annoying because once you put it out, you also need to like fucking do heaps more work still. So it's like this weird, just like, fucking tornado of emotions where you're like feeling really good about yourself and you're like stoked you're going to put the song out and you put it out and like doesn't really equate to what you want it to, but then like you still got to just like find the energy and you got to make the content, you got to keep looking positive and like, but yeah, at the end of the day, like it sucks and but it's all part of it. I wrote it in my journal today. Like I love the feeling because I'll remember this and I want to know what the bottom feels like. I want to know what nobody giving a fuck feels like. So it's just going to make everything sweeter. It's just going to like make everything so much sweeter and just going to make everything so much more worth it. And yeah, I just try to sit with that and just look it in the eyes and confront it and accept that is how it is. And, whatever I'm thinking in my head, it just doesn't, it's not true. It's not true. Whatever's in front of me, whatever's actually happening is true.
Yep.
And so, just swallow that pill and just keep on going.
Fucking oath.
I've also started to get way more into visualization and manifesting.
Yep.
I just stumbled across this like random as audio book that looked like some fucking shit out of Harry Potter or something or Lord of the Rings or something. Just like some dead set looks like a magic book, but it's just this chick who
what's it called?
I don't even know. I'll have to show you. I'll link it if people want to. It's like a deep dive on visualization. Okay. And they're pretty thorough. It's just like a lot like Joe Dispenza. He's like really in depth, and there's like you can't fully say that it's true or that they figured it out or that it's hard factual evidence, but like because it's just like too elusive, it's too vague. The idea of like creating an ideal image in your head, and that being manifested into reality, like that just seems way too wacky to confidently say that it's true. Do you know what I'm saying?
No.
What do you mean? What don't you?
Just go back a step.
I'm just saying like the whole idea of visualization, right?
Right.
Science, I would imagine would struggle to
grasp it
and fully agree with it. But it's something that's been happening forever. And people like Joe Dispenza in this book, and there's people out there that essentially have like an actual model, an actual way of doing it that for a lot of people has worked and been successful.
Yep.
I'm just saying that like it's hard to like put a proper sort of
put your finger on
and be like, yo, this actually works. Do this will happen, because people are always going to take it out of context. It's like meditation. You can't like, I'm going to be a sick meditator. It's never going to work. No one's ever going to do that.
How many meditation reps can you do?
Yeah, exactly. It's
that's kind of like a weird, there's like a weird.
It's like everything. It's like most things that are intrinsic or intangible.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to be so confident.
Yeah.
You can't say you're going to be so confident. You have to be so confident. You have to prove and show and continue to back that up. So, anyone who does visualize, don't talk about it. That's definitely one thing I've learned, that just keeping it to yourself and just day in, day out, like try and get into a meditative sort of headspace.
How do you, so talk about how you actually do it. Like what's the steps? What's the...
There's like some more sort of spiritual shit that like is a bit, I buy into it, but I can't really remember it also. There's like some stuff where like, you sort of visualize light surrounding you and entering your body and just all this sort of stuff like that. But it generally, in its most basic sense, go meditate, clear your head. When you're meditating, you're essentially like getting into, like you're dropping into your subconscious sort of.
Yep.
And it's once you're there, that's why you meditate firstly or just whatever, do some breathing just to calm your mind down and just center yourself. And once you're there, it's not forced, it's not hard, it's not strenuous, you're not trying to hold an image. It feels like it is, like it's something you got to work on, you got to build.
Yep.
And then slowly more and more you'll start to just like, it'll come, it'll like sort of put itself together. But you're sitting there thinking like about, you know, your ideal life and don't doubt it. You have to believe it. You have to see it already happening. Doing it with like a smile on your face or a smile in your head, however you want to put it, or however you want to do it, but doing it in a positive manner where you're positively looking at these things and you're content in your head. It allows it to not have any doubts. So it's really important to trust and believe that it's already happened and that it will happen. And it's crazy, man. Like everything in front of us was originally created in the mind.
Yep.
Every single thing.
Facts.
And it just follows that thread. If like they use the example of flying like a few times, and
yep,
it's because it's just such a perfect example.
I'll tell you another great example. Russ in this interview with Jay Shetty the other day. Jay Shetty's talking that they start talking about visualization, and I don't know that lead up to this point, this moment, but basically Ross was talking about how when they were young, when they barely knew anyone, barely had anything going on, him and his best homie, they would visualize or they'd talk about the future. So I think they made a mixtape when they were like 16 called 2021. They named it 2021 and they rapped on it from the position of, I think this is like 10 years ago. So, he would have been like, 16. So, from the position of in 10 years time, what are we going to be doing? And like, so they talk on the mixtape, they talk about like, I've got the big house, I've got the car, shit like that. And it's so fucking cool because he just went and did that shit. But he goes, man, did anyone like, think you're crazy for like.
Did they put that out?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know where, but I think so. I don't know if it's still out, but yeah, this is when they were real young. But yeah, then he talks about like, Jay Shetty's like, did you think that was crazy trying to like manifest these like crazy things or visualize this crazy life? And he was like, no, that's not crazy. Like how else am I meant to get to the top if I don't think about it? Like I can't think about where I've come from and try to put where I've come from at the top because that's back there. And it was just such a like, of course. You can't fucking go, I'm going to visualize the dream future using this old model. Not going to work. You're going to get old model in the future, So yeah, I thought that was fucking super cool.
But that's a big part of it. You have to believe that it's already happened. Like, really confirm that it's already happened and understanding that it begins in your mind. So be thorough with it. Be intentional with it.
Yeah.
Believe it. Just give your all to it. And every day, the reason I brought it up because of mental health is because like I do it. It's like I only meditate a little bit now and then most of the time it's spent visualizing and honestly, I'll sit there last few days, man. I've only been doing it like 3 or 4 days. I'll sit there for like 20, 30 minutes and my thoughts come and go, but like you feel, it's just like meditation when you get to that place where you're like, it just, there's no denying that it's true essentially.
Yep.
Like you're not doubtful that this is an idea in your head. You're like, you feel like you're living there almost.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about continually coming back to that place and
how
just
how long do
piecing
you,
the life together.
How long do you spend there?
I don't know. Like I said, like anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes I've been doing it. And even at night I'm trying to do it as well. And I'm not thinking about all the way in the future. I'm just trying to visualize sort of the next big step, the next big evolution, where I want to be, you know, maybe like 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And just starting to put that together. And, you know, maybe as that becomes clearer and I feel like I'm heading in that direction, then I'll continue to evolve it and go bigger. And, but it also is just the perfect way to create a plan, because you're thinking about it, you're visualizing it, it's like, and then you can come back to when you're, you know, back during your day and go, all right, how can I make those steps?
Mm-hmm.
You actually have an ideal you're heading towards, not just like this esoteric random ass like idea of like what your career is going to be or who you're going to be or whatever. Like you've actually thought about the life you want to live and how that's going to look, who you're going to be and what house you're going to have, like you go in depth as much as you can, like what the kitchen's, what sort of knives you got in the kitchen, what the sink looks like, what the view is, what you're looking like if you're in your house.
Damn.
Like everything. And that's the only way to do it. Like you got to really, because that's, like I said, you're creating an image for the future in your mind. It needs clarity. It needs definition. It needs depth. It needs context. You know, walk past a mirror. If you know, when you're trying to do it, walk past a mirror, see how you look like whatever you want. Who's in the room? What's the temperature? Like, what's the time on the clock? Like all of it. What are you wearing? Are you about to go to bed? Have you just woken up? Like, is there birds outside? Like, create as much as an ideal image as you can. And
is Usman's winning streak still going?
Yeah, exactly. Probably.
He's 60-0.
Yeah, yeah, but it just gives me so much hope, to be honest. Because the other big important part about it is like you don't need to understand how you're going to get there. You just need to create the image. You know, you don't have to. You're not in your head going, okay, well, how did I get that car? I'm earning this much. How am I earning that much? You just got to think about what you want.
Yeah.
And then when you come back to your real life, as opportunities, and because it's the same thing with repeating mantras in your head, things start to appear. You start to realize things more. You start to take notice of certain things, and opportunities will arise naturally.
Yep.
It's because you're attracting that ideal future. The thing that you're not just going to wake up tomorrow and you're going to wait and you're going to be in that dream house. There's things that are going to have to get you there. There's a lot of steps between there.
Yep.
So you have to be perceptive to that and just stay aware and take opportunities and just trust and yeah.
Yep.
So that's me.
Fucking oath. Okay.
But yeah, I'd advise you do it as well. It's I'll send the book to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's the story of the chick who did it. She's like she wanted to study underneath this guy who was like this, you know, top psychologist of the time, and he never took students. Like he never had a student, and that was like her ideal that she visualized towards, and eventually she got there and ended up being his one and only pupil ever.
Yeah, right.
And not only that, like she needed $20,000 to get over to England to go visit him, visualize that. Eventually it found her way to her within 6 months. Like it's shit's bananas, man. Like, I don't know what anyone else believes in, but might as well fucking give this a go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what else you doing? Like you don't want to believe in God? Cool. You don't want to meditate? Cool. Fucking visualize, like do something. Prepare for the future. Like look into the future and set a plan. Like
what do you want it to look like?
What do you want it to look like? And do it. Like it doesn't have to, your whole life doesn't have to be a series of random events that happen to you.
Yep.
So yeah.
Preach.
So yeah, you want to talk about lockdown? How
we're looking at time?
30 minutes.
30. All right. I mean, we'll talk.
Or should we just go on Opulence?
I mean, yeah, lockdown was whatever. It's whatever. We're kind of getting used to it. It's not fun.
No, but in terms of like how you approached it and what were the takeaways for you?
Takeaways were try to get up earlier regardless.
No, I mean like, you know, the content and everything you've been doing, like.
Oh, what have I been doing? What do you mean?
You mean what I mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean? What do you mean? Well,
Like,
you go first. You tell me. What? Give me an example.
I mean like for me, storytelling. It's another book I've been reading about story, and that helped shape how I did the content for Opulence. It like helped me sort of put into perspective, like, you know, how to market this song and how to tell the story. And I'll tell you what, man, it made me realize like how much I missed out on releasing Action Potential well.
Right.
Because I had a whole fucking like chronicle of a story that I could tell, and all I did was just tell the specs. You know what I mean? Like I didn't actually say anything about the story. I just like threw out some random events essentially. I did my best.
You did your best.
I did my best. I'm just saying, like, in hindsight, after learning more about like storytelling and how like the best branding and the best marketing is all just storytelling.
Yep.
Yeah, I missed out on an opportunity because like I think just not only the idea of the project itself, but the whole lead up to it with Haru and like the four mixtape, like because remember it was the fourth one. It's Haru. So yeah, not to mention I fucking like
I'm still gonna have beef with you for not calling her Haru. By the way,
it's all good. I mean the first track's Haru.
Doesn't matter.
Got beef. And in the intro, I took all three. I took Fuyu, Aki, and Natsu, and put all the songs together and sped them up and put them in the same key. So in the intro, every song
that you made in those three mixtapes.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to do I can't wait for you to tell that story when you're.
Yeah, for sure.
In an interview or some shit like that.
Yeah, it will come out eventually.
Yeah. Anyway, let's just keep it moving.
Yeah. Yeah, so I released Opulence.
Oh, yeah.
What's the date today?
Let's talk about a week ago.
Yeah.
Week and a half.
5.
Opulence.
No, 5 days. 11th.
Is that it?
Yeah, it was on Friday.
Okay. How long? When were you meant to release it?
May. And I was hoping to at least upload it in at the end of May, so I was at least done, you know, put out essentially. But there was just more that needed to be done, and I thought like I'd already come this far, like I might as well just take my time and even still, like I felt like I was fucking rushing and stressing and like it's just so many things that come up. Like I think I've covered all the fucking, you know, all the areas, but for some reason things still come up. So I just need to update because I have like somewhat of a checklist sort of thing, a release plan sort of thing. I need to update that and just like be more thorough with it, just so I can look at everything to date and then extend on that, because it's just like there's so many things you need to worry about in terms of like just making the content in general. Like if you can just know what you got to make, then figuring out how to make it is a lot easier, because now you're not thinking about how you got to make shit and then what you got. Like it's just it becomes too much. So I'm glad overall.
How's it been received?
Yeah, good. Like everyone I've sent it to and asked and got feedback from has enjoyed it. A lot of like some new people that I haven't really spoke too much before. Some industry, just some other musicians and whatnot, producers, and to get good feedback from them. It was cool. There's a couple of people that said like something about the mix, and mixing still being new to me. Like it's cool to hear that, get feedback on that.
Yeah.
And the thing is that using that mastering program, it sort of takes it away a little bit from the mix. So it's still not even really as good as it can, finally sound. The mix sounds better than the master because I think it's sort of, in a way, it squashes it a bit and like it brings out certain things, but doesn't really have the same dynamics and like space in it. So I want to learn to master properly, just to be able to like, because when you're listening, you know what you wanted to get out of it. So whereas program just does whatever. But yeah, cool, man. I had a fucking lovely conversation with a dude this morning. Marty, his name is a paramedic from Yeppoon, actually.
Yeppoon, really?
Yeah. And
how'd you get to talking to
I
him?
don't know. He just was following me for a while, and like he liked something recently, and then I was like, I remembered how 6 months ago ish. I remember he sent me a really lovely message, and it was only once I saw his name that I remembered that I didn't reply to that message. And I went in and I was like, oh, sorry, bro. Like, because the message was so nice. Like, he was really giving me props, saying that, like, he's been watching hip hop for a while. He's a massive hip hop head. He's watched Hilltop Hoods, so, now chilling out, blowing up. And I was about to say chilling out, so.
Like you didn't.
Chilling it, blowing up, and he's like, I know a thing or two about Australian hip hop, and you've got something good going on. You got a good personality and a point of difference, or something along the lines of that. And so I replied to him just saying like thank you, and then he replied straight away.
Was that the message that he sent?
That was the old message, yeah.
What was the new message?
Well, we just went back and forth and similar stuff. Just sort of, he was saying the recent songs just sounded more professional. The way I articulate things and the things I say, he just appreciates that they're a bit different and that I have something to say and that I have a level of maturity about me and whatnot. So, and then, it was sick. Then he sent me a voice message just being like, you're an inspiration and that, I'm a paramedic and it was funny as he's like, I'm a paramedic and you probably think I wear a cape, but fucking I don't, but it's people like you that I get motivation and get inspired by. And so,
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was just like the universe send me a alley-oop and
that's great.
Just grab that one for sure. So yeah, it was exactly what I needed to hear. Just super motivating and so Marty, shout out if you're watching.
Shout out Marty from Yeppoon.
Soden, I think his last name is.
What a G.
Yeah, just can't thank him enough.
That's hectic.
He was like, I can't even believe you're replying to me. I'm like, all right, so Dutch boys.
Talk
about Dutch boys?
All right. Yeah, I reckon we do. I reckon we
this is it.
Oh, we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Fucking oath. Okay, well, for everybody out there, big savvy, little savvy, we've been working on a little song. X-tape, mate. Oh, totally unrelated, but Golo. His Instagram got deleted and he started a new one.
So dog that I just delete it.
Yeah.
And not like just fucking block, but I'm sure he's been blocked heaps.
Yeah. They warned him enough, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, he goes, he started his new one and he followed me and I followed him back and I look in his caption, his blurb is like, new account, old one got deleted from all the on pays.
I'll get ya.
From all the on pays.
He's a fucking loose unit.
He's a fucking loose unit, man. I love him. Oh God, I went and showed like Vanessa a whole bunch of Lil Golo. Like I showed her the his music video and fuck, we just went down a bit of a rabbit hole.
You got to be about that, but like to find the humor in it.
Yeah,
like you could easily not get it and just be like, this cunt's a weirdo. But if you like it, it's funny as.
Yeah, she got.
He's just like
she struggled to understand.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like you got to sort of like hip hop a bit as well and just sort of get the culture a bit. Like because there's a lot, there's
a lot there.
There's a lot there. Yeah, you got to really understand how wild he is and like what's real and what isn't sort of thing. Because it's like. He's like a, Tekashi, like you don't know what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
Because he does everything so convincingly.
Fucking oath he does.
Yeah.
Shout out Lil Golo, shout out Cole Shotter.
Damn.
So yeah, just on Dutch Boys. So we've been working on a mixtape. We've got 7 tracks. It's going to be 7 tracks. It's going to be 7 tracks. The first one is pretty much done. Got to get mixed and mastered, but yeah. We last put out a joint project in 2017.
Is that when it was?
I think so. Yeah, 2017 or maybe 2018. I think it was 2018. Yeah,
Probably 2018.
2018 called Brody, which is a lot of fun. And yeah,
Was
we're
that
going
7?
back to it.
I probably would have been 7.
I think that was 7.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're going back to it.
Look forward to it.
Yeah. And
That's so funny.
nothing. No, I'm smiling because I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy. The music's fucking pretty good. There's some really fucking fun songs on there. And yeah, I think obviously the title Dutch Boys, we're talking a little bit about our Dutch heritage. We're not going into too much detail, just kind of keeping it lighthearted. But I think it's a cool, fun angle to take on it. And yeah, I'm keen to put it out. I'm keen to play some shows off the back of it, maybe.
I like that it's like just good songwriting. Like it's serious but not too serious, and it's theatrical and has like like just a interesting, unique take about it. Like it's not just rappers rapping, it's like dudes making just every song has a feel to it, and not really like it's not really about what we're saying necessarily, just like the emotion and just like the just riding a vibe.
I agree.
So, and each song is pretty different. It's pretty unique in their own way. Like it's not really just like one vibe. So
yeah. So it's cool. We'll probably have some more to talk about on that in the coming weeks as we kind of finish a single and kind of start rolling it out.
Yeah, and it's just weird how quickly it came together. Hey.
Yep.
Like just like a couple
sessions. You had a couple up your sleeve. I jumped on a few verses. We got drunk and made a couple of songs together. And then all of a sudden, boom, EP. So I reckon, yeah, if we kind of, we get it done.
What are we aiming for?
I think the
showdown 26.
26 of 29th, 79th.
It's only 10 days away.
No. It's later than that. I think 9th of
July.
9th of August. Yeah.
No, but for showdown.
Yeah, showdown. 9th of July for showdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. And then I think 13th of August for the EP is what we're aiming for. Yeah, cool. All right, let's keep it moving.
All right. UFC,
baby.
263.
UFC 263 ain't none but fucking with G's. You know what means?
Yeah, no.
Ain't feeling that.
No, and it was just like way too lowest hanging fruit. UFC 263.
Okay. Didn't hear you spit no bars.
I just put out a song, but bars on that.
Ain't none. I didn't hear it, so
Real tough.
Anyway, UFC 263. It was a bit of an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah,
as they all are these days.
I know.
And not just because of what happened in the fights, but also because of the fact that our fucking live stream decided to die just as the Israel versus Marvin fight
Seriously,
was about to take
UFC,
place.
sort your fucking shit out. The fact that so what happened was we bought the pay-per-view but paused it because
we're running a bit late.
We ran a bit late, yeah.
So we started it behind.
Half an
hour or
and
something.
by the time we got to the main event, the whole event had finished. And what they do is they stop the live stream and upload the whole video, which takes like a good.
They've got to render it and all that.
Yeah,
shit.
it's good half an hour maybe. So we're like literally they're about to walk out for the main event, and then we have to pause it. And we thought it was just like done for.
We thought it was done.
So we checked the result, thinking they're like, right, cool, we're not going to watch it. And like, thankfully, Izzy won, so we're happy with the result. But fuck.
Yeah, that was a bit frustrating.
Yeah.
But it was just like it was a pretty eventful card, or the main card anyway. I didn't watch any of the prelims or anything like that. But starting off with the Paul Craig versus Jamal Hill, and
who had like mad beef and were just like so ready to kill each other.
That absolute nastiness of having that dislocation, and the fact that Jamal Hill's still trying to fight and
arm flopping around.
Bro, you know, high level jiu-jitsu is just, you just can't fuck with that, man.
No, no, it's
It is so scary. It is such a scary art form.
And not to mention just like how easily he engaged and just pulled guard.
Him in the guard, yeah.
Like,
just went to town.
the fact that like, because, you know, you watch Damian Maia against Bilal and he's like just constantly attacking, trying to get the takedown.
Yep.
Whereas Craig just grabbed him, pulled him down, and it was over.
You're in my world now.
Yeah, I just can't believe he didn't.
Once you're in their world,
yeah, I know.
That's it.
You can't play chess with a chess master. You got to fucking he had to
play a different game.
and he had the opportunity to pull out and like.
I don't know if he did though. I know you said that a couple of times, but
I reckon he did. It looked like I think because he was on top, he felt dominant.
Right.
And so he sort of like got out, but then he went to like keep getting a few more strikes on him.
Oh,
yeah, I know. But shout out, fucking, you know,
it was a great finish.
Popped it back in, and he's good to go.
Yeah, apparently he's fine. But
and they came together after it. So
yeah, there was mad respect shown, and the fact that he stood there with his arm so badly dislocated and just like, you know,
like a man.
Fuck, man, that's so gangster. That's so gangster standing there, and I think earned a lot of respect from everybody in the fight world, and especially Paul Craig. So
definitely, yeah,
that was wild.
Diaz.
Yeah, Diaz, God, almost won it in a final round there.
That's crazy.
Do you know what's weird? You saw in the presser how he's like, you know, in the real world that fight's over. Bro, that's so gangster. He didn't even give a shit. He's like, do you know what? In the real world, he's dead. So
yeah, I know. It's crazy. Hey,
he doesn't even think. He's not even thinking like, because he's.
But then again, like, you know, in the real world, probably Leon would have been a lot more aggressive and not as
we
calculated.
don't know that though.
Yeah, I know he didn't do the same sort of damage in terms of like, I understand the circumstances in terms of like in the real world, like with Leon, like that he is done for, but you know, you can argue it both ways. Like
I get that.
He's in the cage, he's calculated, he's listening to his coaches, he's taking his time, he's thinking about 5 rounds.
Yeah, I get that.
Like he would have come out kicking, elbows, everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's still fair point.
Nah,
because all things considered, for 5 rounds he stood in front of him and he took everything.
He took everything and still.
Yeah, it's crazy how durable they are,
bro. No, not kind of they, but definitely him.
No, I mean his brother.
Oh, right.
Yeah, they're both pretty much exactly the same.
Man, imagine the shit that they would have got up to as kids.
Oh man, they've probably been bashed that many times.
They're just
like, I know they're fighters themselves, but they're not big. No. And growing up, they would have fucking never shut their mouth.
No.
Like, you know, no, that's probably where they, you know, get that durability from.
Yeah.
Like
you get flogged enough times, you know how to take a flogging.
Yeah, exactly. No, but like honestly, like in terms of, you know what it feels like, you know what the pressure feels like, the stress, the pain. Like if you've been there to the edge,
those levels,
like everything prior to it is just not the same.
Yeah, 100.
Yeah, so it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that press conference was just all time, and he's lighting up the spliff, and he's like, you know, having a party. I'm going to send some stuff out on my socials. Everyone come around.
Such a legend, eh? Bro, it's just so good to see shit like that. Like just people being so authentic.
Yeah,
it's just incredible. Like how much of a buzzword that is.
Authentic.
Yeah, like everybody's talking about it, whether you're a musician, a sportsman, or whatever. Like it's everything. And
but do you know why it is? It's because we've come from the last 10 or 15 years where everything is so fabricated.
Yeah. And still.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Because pop music, every industry has an archetype or a stereotype that if you want to, you can buy into, and
100%.
It'll get you probably halfway.
100%.
So like you got like
authenticity is the opposite end of the spectrum.
Yeah, because you can get like talent and money and corruption and all these things like can get you most of the way, but then it gets to a level where greatness and genius and authenticity and love and confidence and these supreme sort of abilities are the difference, you know?
Yep.
So like for example, Nate's a perfect example. Look at him. He's got the skill, he's got the talent. Yeah, cool. But he's also got 12 losses or 13 now of 21 fights or whatever and 21 wins. So like it's not winning that gets him there.
No.
And it's not necessarily even his fighting style. It's like durability and authenticity.
Yep. 100%.
And especially authenticity.
Yep.
Because he could lose his fights differently or win his fights differently. And the way he just shows up and just doesn't give a fuck from start to finish. Yeah. Like literally, there's not a moment that he turns it on for the cameras.
No, I love it.
It's just all him.
And when he fucking landed that shot on Leon, he just pointed at him.
I got you. It's just like that. It's just like, you're done.
You know you're fucked. And the slow-mo of Leon's eyes just kind of lighting up and trying to gain consciousness. And
it's just the craziest thing. Like the other day we were talking about like she likes watching reality TV, and we were sort of just having a conversation about TV and whatnot, and I was sort of like, just probing a little bit, just like, because to me, I just
watch it.
Yeah. And she tried to bring up, look, you watch sports, like there's no different, but it's like there is so much difference. The amount of life, like just experience, I guess you'd say, that I get from watching sport. When I watch Kobe or when I watch LeBron, like when LeBron came back, Cavs down 3-1 in the finals, and LeBron and Kyrie come back and beat Golden State Warriors. Like, that teaches me what it means to be a fucking human and excel, and what greatness means, and how much you can overcome the odds. And the same with Diaz. It shows me about authenticity and how much people appreciate that, and what it means to be durable and just keep bouncing. Like, it's just NRL. Like, you watch how a team pulls together when, a player's gone off or something. And it's inspiring. It's inspiring. It doesn't just like make me go, oh, that's a cool game. It makes me have a new lease on life.
Yep. For fuck's sake. All right, so our camera's dropped out twice now due to overheating. But
Which isn't great.
We'll get there. So anyway, we'll get on to
Origin.
Let's just quickly just wrap it up. Marino and Izzy, great wins.
Yeah.
Izzy super dominant. Marino actually pretty dominant as well. Like, that was he fucking blitzed him.
Yeah.
But yeah, probably sets up a Izzy versus Rob
Definitely.
rematch.
Yeah, definitely. That was meant to happen before that. It's just that Rob Izzy didn't want to have to wait for Rob.
That's right.
Something like that. And Martin was ready to go.
I reckon it's going to be blockbuster. Probably, it sounds like it's going to be an NZ.
I honestly don't know who I pick, given how good Rob's looked like.
I think Izzy still wins, but I think it is going to be way closer. I reckon it's going to be a total war.
Yeah,
I reckon it's going to be a 5.
It's going to be so, like,
exhibition.
think about how like technical and stressful it was watching him first gastle him even.
And did you watch him fight Darren Till? Did
you
watch that one?
Yeah,
bro, man, just watching like that elite striking.
It's so beautiful,
and the way that they're just kind of setting things up, and you just see like the body movements, the little fakes.
It's superhuman. It's so crazy. Like I can't even. When I watch sports, I can get it. Like, I can be like, all right, that's impressive, but I could do that.
Yeah.
Like, other than obviously like dunking and shit, like the majority of it, like I understand how the body would do those things, but the danger and the speed and velocity that fighting happens at is just something else. And to see how quickly they react, and just that they're two men that are absolutely at the top of their game and could kill one another in an instance or kill a regular dude in an instance if they wanted to. Can stand in front of each other for 25 minutes and still walk away from it. It's nuts. And just walk away with a couple of bruises. Like, I don't understand that. I can't wrap my head around
fathom, isn't it?
Like, Izzy didn't look like he got hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think Martin even really like looked too bad.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Pretty mind blowing. But I reckon this fight will be one for the ages. I reckon it'll be a 25-minute war.
And it's so good to know, like, they've already fought, but like, given what Izzy's done since then and how Rob looks now, like, he was already the champ. He understood that. He understood what it takes. Yep. And it was already the best, essentially, at that point.
Yeah.
And clearly just wasn't in the right headspace. But regardless, skill-wise, has gotten so much better. Yep. So, like, it's so exciting to see fighters fight at their peak.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, Izzy said it himself. They were asking him about, like, his next fights or whatever. He's like, I just want to make sure I stay active while I'm in my peak.
Yeah, exactly.
In my prime, yeah.
That was a great comment.
Yeah. So
let's keep it moving.
Origin.
Yeah, look, not much to say except, fucking.
Rest in peace, Queensland.
Yeah. NSW. 3 games for the state.
Yeah.
They say mate on mate.
Strap that ends and lock that elbow. Strap the shoulder, lock the elbow.
Anything it takes.
Yeah.
We say
NSW.
Anyway, New South winners is what they like to call us. And do you know what? People are like, don't get too far ahead of yourself. And I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but fuck it. Whitewash
every day of the week.
We're putting another 50
especially
on
on Wednesdays.
Put another 50 on them this week.
I mean, look, it's hard to see it. I mean,
going much differently.
The thing is with Origin, like with club footy, any given day it can change a lot. I mean, Origin as well for sure, but because it's such a high caliber and there's just so much like, there's just such
on it.
Yeah, and just such little room for error.
Yeah,
you sort of like engage it a little bit more. It's why so many of the first games are like 1 point differences and such low scoring.
Because it was such a blowout though, and because we were so dominant, I think that if we can start fast.
Yeah, we just don't have the sort of team that I expect to get,
overawed.
Yeah, or like ahead of themselves.
Yeah.
Like Tommy, the star player, like he's just so not that guy. Like he's looking at every game like it's his first game ever, and his last game.
And I think
Teddy
Cleary,
the same.
Cleary's at that level now.
Yeah, Cleary the same, and that's why Queensland was so dominant because they had these dudes who were in their peak. They were great.
Who just took it one game at a time.
Yeah, and every single game was the same sort of intensity and intellect and never looking ahead, never looking behind. Like that's what Cameron Smith and all those dudes are like. So you can just tell in a player like, Piercy didn't have that attitude. Who was our last fullback for Teddy? Minicello was there, wasn't he?
Yeah. Oh fuck.
Hayne, Dugan, I think.
Maybe Dugan a bit.
There's someone big.
Brett Stewart.
Yeah. See, he got to the point of being that sort of player. But yeah, and then like, see, I do think that about Luai, and I do think that about Toa. They are sort of players that,
but they're still very young.
Yeah, they are. But I'm just saying
they're going to take the lead from. They're going to take the lead from those other guys that we just talked about.
For sure, yeah, I hope so. But I'm just saying, like, in terms of variables and what to expect and whatnot, like, they are the sort of players that could be feeling too confident.
Yeah.
And that sort of come back to bite them. Whereas Teddy, Cleary, I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
I back them like they've been there and done that. Yeah, Damien Cook.
Yeah.
I back them for those sort of reasons. Whereas Queensland, like, they don't really have that experience and that depth as much.
Right.
Like,
I tell you,
they're good players, but yeah.
I tell you what was funny. I saw someone say something about Damien Cook getting the Dane Gagai treatment in terms of like having to wear his Blues jersey under his Rabbitohs jersey. Because like his club form has been pretty average this year. Like he almost got pipped by Coruscant. Appy. And he just fucking, like everyone else on the New South Wales side, like I'm sure it helps when your forward pack is rolling forward and your backs are playing that well. But he did look really good. Like he actually looked like he was meant to be there. And
the forward pack played great, but it was the backs that just like pulled them apart. And the halves, like the kicking game and everything was nuts, man.
So, and I guess we kind of talked a little bit about our predictions for the second Origin, which is going to be at Suncorp. But I think it doesn't change. I think this team.
Well, who's Queensland got back in?
So they'll have Ponga, Papali'i, Josh.
That's a big inclusion.
That's a huge one, and he played really good on the weekend.
Yeah, and Ponga's a huge one.
And then Christian
instead
Welch.
of Valentine.
Yeah, it's a big difference.
Instead of Holmes,
it's a totally different team. And then Christian Welch, who went off after
he'll be there the whole time, and he's a gun.
Yeah. So
wait, Lindsay Collins.
He might come back, yeah.
Fuck, he's a Queenslander, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, no, if they got...
So that's the thing. They do have a fair bit coming back.
Yeah.
And I think Harry Grant, Karen Munster will have more because they came off like long layoffs.
Who was the other hooker? Who else is hooker for Queensland? Like, they wanted Marnie,
eh? Yeah, they had Ben...
Was there someone else?
They had Ben Hunt last year, I think.
Yeah, right.
And then what's his name? Grant came in game 3.
Surely Grant will start again.
Yeah, you'd imagine.
He played great.
So
as far as being in a team, getting pumped, he was still doing stuff.
He was still doing stuff.
Yeah.
So I think he'll have more game time. Muntz will have more game time. Pong will be back.
And who are the wingers?
Coates will be out.
Yeah.
Coates will be out.
Is he still injured?
But Valentine will go to the wing, I'd say.
Who was the other winger? But
Felt he'll be out. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure. Oh no. he didn't get suspended.
Yeah, but surely you'd pick. I don't know. He's pretty solid.
Felt.
Yeah.
Yeah, Felt will probably stay. And then it's just about what they do in the centers because Kate Wells got towed up a little bit.
Yeah, he did. He just wasn't quick enough.
Just wasn't quick enough.
Yeah.
So they'll probably
and the other
stick with
centre? Gags.
Gags, yeah.
Yeah.
He had a bit of an off night, but I reckon they'd probably stick with the same
Oh, for sure.
pairing unless, they've tossed up the idea of, Chambers, coming back and
Where's he playing at the moment?
Sharks.
Oh, yeah.
But he only came back from England like 4 weeks ago, so he's
Has he been playing good?
He's been playing solid, yeah. But I don't think I think Paul Green ruled him out of coming back. But who knows? It's still early days. Yeah,
Done?
yeah. Let's wrap it up. I reckon.
Easy.
All right, good one.
I don't know if this is 10, by the way, is it?
This is 10. Yeah, this is 10.
Yeah, right.
OT 10.
All right, too easy.
So woo.
Made it to a 10th of a century.
Woo.
Let's go.
Sweet. Thanks for tuning in to Looters OT.
Later, Bob.
Later, Bob.
Looters OT. Yeah, Looters OT. I said Looters OT. Yeah, Looters OT. Looters OT. I said Looters OT. I said Looters OT. Looters OT.